Hey everyone, Bob Jablonsky here with Jablonsky Tax Relief. One of the most common questions I get from taxpayers who owe the IRS is, will the IRS settle my tax debt? And if so, how much are they going to accept from me? Well, I got some good news for you. Today I'm going to explain exactly how the IRS calculates settlement amounts through their offer and compromise program and how you can estimate your own number. Forget the TV commercials promising pennies on the dollar. The real formula the IRS uses might surprise you, and once you know it, you'll understand whether a settlement is realistic for you. So what is an offer in compromise? Well, an offer in compromise, or OIC, is the IRS program that lets taxpayers settle their tax debt for less than what they owe, but only if they qualify. And not everyone qualifies. Actually, most people do not qualify who owe the IRS. But for the people who do, it can eliminate tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars of IRS debt. So the IRS doesn't guess what the settlement amount is. They use a formula called Reasonable Collection Potential, or RCP. And a simple breakdown of it is the IRS settlement amount is the assets that are available to pay the IRS under the calculation, plus future income for a period of time as calculated under RCP. So let's break that down. So the first part of that calculation is assets. And the IRS is going to look at the value of your bank accounts or your home equity, your cars, investment and retirement accounts, or even your business assets. But they're not always going to count the full value. In some cases, they're going to use a quick sell value versus the full value, for example, in your home. And in other situations, there's going to be an exemption amount where not the full amount is going to be calculated as due to the IRS. So the second part of that calculation is your future income. And the IRS is going to calculate your monthly disposable income and then multiply it by 12 months if you choose a lump sum OIC, or 24 months if you choose a payment plan OIC. However, you don't always get your full expenses. If you live perhaps beyond what the IRS considers to be your means, you're not going to get all of your expenses. They have allowable amounts for expenses in certain categories. All of that information is public information and available through the IRS. That number of that future income plus your asset value equals the minimum the IRS will accept. So let's go through a real quick calculation. Let's say after your exemption amount, you have $500 available in your bank account balance, and you also have $2,000 available in the equity in your car. So your total assets are $2,000 plus 500, or $2,500 in total assets. On the disposable income side, you have $100 a month. So under a lump sum offer, the calculation would be $2,500 in assets plus $100 a month times 12 months, or $1,200 for disposable income, or an offer of $3,700. If you were to look at a payment plan offer, there's no change in your assets, still $2,500. And then on the income side, you now have to multiply that $100 times 24 months, or $2,400. So your total minimum offer would be $4,900. You may wonder, why would anyone choose the larger amount? Well, there are some advantages to the payment plan offer where you're able to pay your settlement amount over a longer period of time. Now, there are ways that as someone who's skilled and understands the rules, such as a skilled representation expert, might be able to help you reduce those amounts even lower. So some of the things that the IRS doesn't consider. They don't base their settlements on amounts on how much you owe. And they're not going to look at things to how long you've been in debt or whether you're stressed behind on bills or going through divorce. They only look at your ability to pay. So who may be a good candidate? You may be a good OIC candidate if you can't afford those monthly payments. Your disposable income based on those allowable amounts is low or nothing. You have low equity assets. Perhaps you earned a lot of money in the past, but now you're nearing retirement, or you've had a major life change such as illness, disability, job loss, and you no longer have that substantial income. So you earned a bunch of income, incurred the debt, but now, unfortunately, through life changes in life, you're no longer earning that kind of money or able to pay it. The reality is that the worse your financial situation, the stronger your OIC position. So when are you not a good candidate? Well, your chances are going to be lower, or at least your settlement payment's going to be higher if you have high equity in home and cars, or you have large bank balances, or you have high disposable income. You're not even going to be able to request an offer in compromise if you haven't filed all your tax returns, or you're self-employed and you're not current on your estimates. The IRS doesn't let you create new problems as they're settling old problems. One of the other things, people come to me and they say, well, hey, what about if I'm getting a big deposit in on a sale or a huge commission. Can I just offer that? And the reality is no, the IRS is just going to add that amount in your bank account to your settlement amount, but it doesn't change the calculation. Even if you're not a good candidate for an OIC, there are other relief options that exist. And perhaps you'll be a candidate in the future. So, what are those other programs? If you're denied an OIC or you don't qualify, there's always various installment agreements, including a partial pay installment agreement, where your payments are such that you'll never pay the full amount over the IRS statute of limitations to collect. Maybe you're currently not collectible. You have some assets but you don't have the income to pay currently. There's penalty abatement, and for some people, bankruptcy may be an option. There's always a strategy to deal with your IRS problem. So if you want to know how much the IRS would accept in your situation, you don't have to guess. I've given you some information today. If you're looking for some professional help with that, my team at Jablonsky Tax Relief calculates this for taxpayers all the time and helps them negotiate the lowest legally allowed amount with the IRS. Click the link below to schedule a consultation, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more IRS help.